use honest reactions.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you have that absurd situation, or oftentimes you have an absurd character, right? Like Brother Keach is our resident bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes he's just really evil, and then you can have a character just be like incredulous at how he's being, and that makes it funny, especially for kids.
That's a good point. What popped in my mind right before you said that was during our spy theme, and there's video evidence of this, and we're not going to talk about who has it because we don't want to get it out. But I was Teddy. I was a character called Teddy, and I can't remember what I was tasked to do. I got kidnapped by the bad guys.
Oh, yeah.
Remember this? And so they were torturing me, in quotation marks, me to get information. And your character was named Professor...
Oh,
maybe not Professor.
Dr. Victor. Yeah.
Dr.
So you
Victor.
got kidnapped by the good guys. That's what it was.
Right.
Because you were on the bad guys team
That's it.
at first. Yeah.
That's it. So I was being tortured by you as Dr. Victor.
Yeah.
And you had this huge feather.
A feather, yeah.
And you were doing a tickle torture. And I remember, we're going to roll with it. And in fact, I had trouble singing that night because I screamed bloody murder.
I remember that.
Like I was being tortured, like being hurt.
Yes.
And it was all...
And you were so scared.
And I was tied. And I was tied around the chair, and I slipped. Actually, choked myself without meaning to.
I remember that because you were tied. You were tied to a chair. The ropes around you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you were tied to the chair.
Yeah, and I was trying to slide down, and it actually caught around my throat, and I couldn't get up. So that part was very authentic. I had dress shoes on.
And you would stage.
I just was doing that. So that part was truly authentic, but.
None of us knew.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, he's doing a great job.
Just leave him there. So that's one that really stuck out of my mind. You take the absurd situation and just make it bigger.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was fun.
That was hilarious. Yeah. And then, and of course, my character, I'm a good guy, but I'm the interrogator. So I'm kind of mean or evil in that way. And so I'm acting as though that feather pen.
Oh, yeah.
Is a weapon.
You were cackling and
then later I threaten you with it, like, ooh, you're like hiding behind somebody, like, don't let him get me. To go back a long time ago, it was a space theme, I think, years and years ago. We had this, we had created this alien. I gotta get a drink. We had created this alien by stacking somebody on top of somebody's shoulders and then putting a costume over them so they had 4 arms,
Yeah.
So they captured somebody. It might have been you. I don't know. I can't remember.
Probably.
But they captured somebody and they were going to torture them. Well, when we were brainstorming the script or something, I remember thinking, are we going over the line here? I don't want to take this too far.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't want to frighten kids.
Sure.
And so we ended up doing the tickle torture.
Yeah.
And it was ideal because he had 4 arms, so you could just totally tickle, And so that's where the whole thing actually originated. And here we are years later doing the spy theme and the feather pen tickle torture. So it's not this morbid.
Yeah, and the kids get it. They get it that it's like, it's funny. They understand that it's probably not really how things work, right? Like you wouldn't use a feather to get information, but they just think it's hilarious. You're being over the top, and they just connect with it.
Yeah, exactly. So the other thing is, like with honest reactions, is we've done the prodigal son so many times. We've done it various ways and stuff. And so I remember, I think it was Dawson, who I need to have him on the podcast. Yeah. But I think it was Dawson. I can't remember for sure. But he was the older brother, and I don't remember who the younger brother was, but they're sitting down for family dinner. So we had up, by the stage, we have a table set up, mom and dad, older brother, younger brother. So they sit down to dinner, and the younger brother asks, for his inheritance, and Dawson just I mean, it was crazy. It was over the top. But he had a hard hat because he'd been working, quote unquote working out in the field or whatever. And so he takes his hard hat and he throws it on the floor, slams it down, just like we're all of us are just like, whoa.
Shocked everybody.
Yeah, he's like, what do you, how dare you ask Dad? He's worked hard all his life. He goes,
went off.
I was like, whoa, what happened? And Dawson, he probably, he is not in Sunday school as often as some.
Sure.
But, I mean, he did a great job.
That's awesome.
He was actually one of the main characters in our, original spy theme as far as the one we did, the CIA one.
Yeah, yeah.
He was one of the original.
He was
Jason, the bad twin.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So he has done a main character. But, yeah, and that's like the absurdity, of going over the top. And then I go into Prodigal Son, I automatically think of the party when, he's buying everybody stuff, drinks or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're partying and we have music because we have music like pretty much nonstop. And then Brennan.
I remember this.
Brennan, I don't even know what that dance thing is called.
Was he the prodigal son or just one of the friends?
I think
he was one of the friends.
I think he was, but he's doing his little thing. I can't even do it.
It was like Egyptian music almost.
Yeah.
And he does this, I don't know what kind of dance it is. It's the Brennan. We call it the Brennan.
The Brennan. Yeah. You know those, they call them air dancers, or that's what I've heard.
You mean belly dancers?
No, no. No, those things that like flop around at car lots and stuff. We get them for fireworks sometimes. They flop around. That's almost like what it's like, but he's always back.
Yeah.
He's back and he's kind of got his arms off to the side, and
it's great.
Oh man! So yeah, every time if we're doing some kind of party, whether it might be the fire furnace. And they're doing the party. If he's one of the crowd or the servants, he's doing that.
He's doing it.
Yeah. So, oh man.